just want to talk about something came up right before I started stream, or actually before I started writing tonight, which was before I started stream. So I saw it like 2 hours or so ago, but it was one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen. Warning for some people out there, there is a bit of well, this is like chud shit. So there is going to be a brief moment. Or if you look at this, they use bad language. There's bad words. There's bad words is really what I'm trying to get around. But I thought that this was kind of fascinating. All right, let's see. We're going to work over here. So, art screen. Boom. There we go. So I don't know who this Ducky the Second is. Ducky the Second. British fascist, which is, by the way, the most lowest form of fascist. Get a real country, kid. Yo guys, I've seen this stupid trans code, quote unquote, list of games that slur like, but I need to know what are some conservative themed games that you guys know / like. I'll be making a conservative core list of games, which is first off, just a hard uphill battle. Off the top of my head, I know like the real conservative core game, unironically and unabashedly, is Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim's creator is absolutely 100% fucking chud built. He is that guy. I think he's like an anti-vaxxer and all kinds of shit. Like he's a fucking nutcase, man. And then like if I had to guess, before I show you the list, if I had to guess the conservative core games, I would say something like, I don't know what, Crusader Kings, just the name of that comes to mind. I think that's like a free-to-play browser game, but still, that just sounds like it. I would say something like Age of Empires, because Crusades, Saracens, and shit like that. Random horrible $5 Steam games that no longer exist on Steam because they are like literal hate crimes. I would say stuff like that, would be conservative. For Honor, I would say is probably, it's literally in my mind, the only thing I could think of as being a conservative game would be shit with Crusaders in it. Maybe like that was that Jason Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain I feel like is lightly conservative coded. It's about a guy who's a bad dad. but here's the list that this guy picked. Let's see, open image in new tab. We're just gonna go for the whole image. I don't think there's anything. I looked at this before, not crazy in depth, but I think I don't have to worry about it being a can we get F11? There we go. Anything too crazy on here, and I don't know all of these games, but and I can't quite tell if this is parody or not. I didn't really look into the account. I'm going to assume it's not, because a parody account wouldn't be just throwing around slurs like that, but this is fucking wild. And also, like, seriously, get a real don't put the Republican Party of America on the same level as whatever the fuck what is this, the liberals of the UK? Or you're not at our level. You're like a pet. You're a pet that the American GOP keeps. You guys are not, don't equivocate. If both of those parties came to power, there would be no power sharing. We would just take you over. You would just exist like one of those, those lanternfish in the bottom of the sea where like the thing mates with it and then like the other one just hangs off as like a vestige, a little carcass attached to the ass of the like superior lanternfish. That's what you are, UK conservatives. I'm sorry, you're impossible to take serious. You're just all of the shit that we say plus a goofy fucking accent. It's impossible. Literally impossible to take you seriously. It's beyond the pale. It's so absurd. I don't like having health care. Oh, it's so long to wait at the NHS. The transgenders are frightening to me. They don't groom it. If you say groomer with a UH at the end, bro, you're fucking clown coded. That's what you are. So just going in here, we have Toho Project, which I don't know if that's a Square Enix thing or if it's just like ripping their style. That's just like the Squaresoft back in the day, man. But Square Enix, that's the vibe. I don't know too much about Toho Project. I think that's all bullet hell shooters. Toho Project. If it's conservative coded, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like some insane lowly shit too. I mean, if the first thing on your list is just fucking lolly game, that I would 100% say yeah. Okay, I'm just looking at some screenshots on the. I'm definitely not going to bring any of these things directly in, but yeah, this is all a bunch of underage girls. It's literally just dozens upon dozens of underage girls. Okay, well, now that we got to the bottom of that one right off the bat, Dark Tide Warhammer 40K game. Warhammer is not. Warhammer's one of those things where it's like the conservatives don't get that they're being made fun of. Like, if you're a fascist, Warhammer is about how bad fascism is. It's like fascism is a bad thing. That's all of Warhammer. Literally, the cabal of oligarchs that are at the top of the pyramid of the Imperium of Man have basically eliminated Jesus, like literally machine god Jesus, man, from the conversation about his own religion, and he just lives on in a perpetual hell watching his legacy be turned into the thing that's the almost perfect opposite of what he wanted from the world. If I remember what I've read of the lore, and I've read so much of lore from that fucking game. Never played a single one. Never played 2 seconds of it, so fucking mauled. Doom, I don't know how Doom is conservative at all. Doom is about the Union Aerospace Corporation, which is a corrupt corporation. And basically every single version of Doom, the Union Aerospace Corporation is an unregulated capitalist entity that literally unleashes hell on Earth, either through portal experimentation or by trying to harness hell energy to power everything. Sniper Elite, I can give that. I'll give you Sniper Elite. That seems like a school shooter game. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I don't even know how you would even make that political. I don't understand how that could be either side. I guess if you just want to enjoy it and you're conservative, I guess if it's like these are the games you could potentially enjoy as a conservative because they're not inherently the other way, I guess I could kind of give you that one. Legend of Zelda. But it's definitely not like conservative. It's really like nothing. It's unironically probably one of the most apolitical vibed games. It's like Mario Brothers. Is Mario Brothers political? You have to do like cracked.com circa 2010 levels of just reaching to try to find the deeper political messages of the game. Probably, I don't know. I guess it's definitely an anti-monarchical thing because, you know, relying on the monarchy and having one person that you can kidnap or knock out of power to just annihilate a nation is probably not the best thing. But yeah, it just doesn't have, it's such an insane story and there's not really much development of it lore-wise, and at least in Ocarina of Time. I don't know what, yeah, it just feels too reachy. Sniper Elite, like I said, I don't know. Yeah, you got a little fucking Reichsadler there. Why not? Yeah, you guys can have that. That can be conservative core. I don't want to play any of the sniper games. The last sniper game I played was whatever that one is, and probably nobody fucking remembers it but me, but it used to be in arcades, and it was, you had to pay like $4 fucking to play this game, but it had a gigantic sniper rifle, and you could look at the screen and through the sniper scope, which would actually be zoomed in. It might be, I can't remember. Probably something like Eagle Eye 24 or some stupid shit like that. But that game, I fucking hated that game because I liked it. And I spent $25, I think, one day at the Jacksonville movie theater, whatever the fuck that was called, by the mall in Jacksonville, North Carolina, outside of Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, trying to beat that fucking game. And I found out that even though you can continue at every other point because you don't do good enough or you don't score high enough, if you get to the last level, which is just some dipshit playing a fucking piano, and you don't take the shot immediately that's available in the first 10 seconds of him playing and hit him in the face, it auto fails the game and you get no retries. It just turns it off completely and you have to restart from the beginning. I hate that game. I hate that game with a passion beyond anything sane. It's the worst. It's the worst game ever. But it's also incredibly fun. And if I could get it in my house, I would play it. That would be my one, like, fucking dad, childless, 35-year-old man-child thing to do. Would be to buy that stupid fucking, I would call it, what do they call those boxes? Cases? People buy they buy arcade machines. I got the box, the original blah, 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 blah. I would get that and I would get Time Crisis 3. I digress. Time Crisis 3 is conservative coded as fuck. Time Crisis 3, you're just a cop with a license to kill. And it's you and your buddy just absolutely annihilating people in this ostensibly, like, jungly third world area. I think you're literally killing communists. I don't know why Time Crisis 3 isn't on this fucking list. You guys fucked up. Mortal Kombat. I don't know. Mortal Kombat isn't like, I guess if edgy is conservative, if you're edgelord coded and conservative core is the same thing, maybe, but like quite literally Gary Johnson, this is like one of his number one, like this is the game from the 1990s that conservatives were literally actively pissing their fucking pants about was Mortal Kombat. They wanted it out of arcades. They wanted it off of televisions in the home. The SNES. Gary Johnson's a fucking, I'm not thinking, Gary Johnson's the fucking, he's the libertarian. Who am I thinking of? Is it Ron Johnson? Early as the 1970s, video games have been criticized for having violent content that psychologically influence players. In the 1970s, what, fucking Pong? Those games had 8 bits. I mean, I guess if you find the old Custer's Revenge, that game was fucked. Matt Earhart says, Big Buck Hunter Sniper Edition. It wasn't that, but fucking Big Buck Hunter is the shit. The really trash Big Buck Hunter, that can absolutely be conservative coded, because I don't know a lot of Dems that are going to want to, or at least libs even, that are going to want to play that game unless they're fucking cool, because it's just blasting the fuck out of like every single animal in the goddamn forest. We had that at the bar I was a bouncer at in the early 2010s, and that thing made more money in a night than the actual fucking bar did half the goddamn time. It's like $5 to play it for maybe 5 minutes, $1 a minute, and that thing earned its spot on the floor. Let's see, state of the industry. I know there's somebody else, and it wasn't Joe Lieberman, because I might be thinking of going into the 2000s, but yeah. He was the one that was against Mortal Kombat. Night Trap. I remember Night Trap. That's a really, really weird game. I'd like to play that on stream. I bet you could. This is a great quote. Jeremy Parrish of One Up noted that the reviews, or the backlash against Night Trap by politicians at the time, that its game objectives were mischaracterized either through ignorance or deliberate obfuscation, transforming it from bland and barely titillating FMV adventure to child-corrupting sexual boogeyman. That's pretty fucking conservative coded. I'm sorry, I guess. Joe Lieberman, you're a punk ass. Other children's advocates, including Bob Keeshan, actor of Captain Kangaroo, which I've always heard of, and I have never fucking seen a single episode of. People talked about that all the time in the 2000s, because it was one of those, like, what do you call it? There's one of those things where you would see it on all the VH1 shows that are dumb as shit. I love the 1950s. Konami Justifier. No, there's nothing there. Come on. Where are these at? None of these are the people that I remember from this. But I guess this is where the ESRB came from. Joe Lieberman, what a dick. You know, fucking Hillary Clinton brought this shit up again, like 10 years later, and it's just shut the fuck up about it. id Software's Doom was on here too. Is that why Doom's on this list? Because it's school shooter core? I respect that. I'll just get back to the list. Skyrim, I don't understand what is conservative about Skyrim. I know you can do conservative shit. You can join the racists in that one. I can't even. It's been so long. Everybody else has played Skyrim 500 fucking times since 2011, and I haven't. I think I put something like 400 or 500 fucking hours. I might have put 1,000 hours into that because I feel like it started with a 1, and I know it was higher than 100. I might have put 1,000 hours into that game on the PlayStation 3. Jesus Christ. And unironically, I can't remember almost a fucking thing about it except for just at the very beginning of the game. I can remember that first town that you go to. I can sort of remember the one that's up in the waterfall areas, and then I just remember getting obliterated by the giants and flying up into the air because that was funny as shit. Persona 4, I've never played any of the Persona games. RimWorld, never played it. Morrowind, another one of these. I don't understand how Morrowind's conservative coded, except for the blatant racism in the game. There's a lot of like fantasy slurs being thrown around. But like, what specific conservative things? I mean, the entire main quest of it is that you're like a god trying to kill God. You're the second coming of a god. Is it because of the religious bent? But at one point you have to try to cure a disease using science, and that's very unconservative. You know what I mean? That's like the opposite of it. Quake, I've never played. I mean, I've played like Quake at a friend's house, but I don't even know. Does Quake even have a fucking plot? I thought it was just an arena shooter. Silent Hill 3, profoundly unconservative. Everybody would be, if that game came out today, everybody would just be butthurt on conservative YouTube that it had a female protagonist in general. Also, the literal whole purpose of the game is for you to abort your potential baby that is God. That's the evil God that's coming back. It's a whole pregnancy drama, and I guess maybe if it's about like sexual abuse of a girl, that would make it conservative core. Respect. Parasite Eve, I never got to play it. I saw all of the previews for it and I wanted it so bad, but if you grew up in the 90s like I did, sometimes you could get access to video games and sometimes you motherfucking couldn't. And that was just the life I lived. I always wanted to play Parasite Eve, and just like the GameStop and like the EB games that were near me, never had a copy. It's like I knew one guy that did have a copy, and then you tried to play it, and he'd fucking scratched the disc because he just set all of his CDs in a gigantic like CD on CD stack on a glass fucking table, and they all were just scratched to oblivion. Like they didn't even reflect light anymore. Perfect Dark is about a spy. Perfect Dark is, I can't even remember. The Perfect Dark's plot is insane to me because I played this and GoldenEye both when I was very young. The GoldenEye plot is just the plot of the game GoldenEye, which I don't know. I guess if you're a spy, I guess you're just British and you're wearing a suit, and I guess you're killing communists, right? It's Russians. So, okay, I guess I can give you conservative core for that, I think. Perfect Dark is like the sequel sort of spiritually from Rare Soft, I believe. God, Rare. It might have just been Rare. It's the same people that made Donkey Kong. That was like, it wasn't like a real sequel. Obviously, it's not a fucking James Bond game, but it like kind of just improved on everything from James Bond, and it had bots so that if you didn't have friends or your friends were not able to come and play on your console, you could fucking run around in the arena mode and shoot everybody with the laptop gun, which I believe is the Perfect Dark had the laptop gun, which was great. turret guns and stuff. But yeah, the plot of Perfect Dark is that you sneak into a series of places as, I believe, Joanna Dark. And then for some reason at the end, it was aliens all along. Yeah, pretty much. Battlefield 4. I don't know how that's conservative coded. Me being a socialist and shit, I fucking love Battlefield 4. I wish it was as good as Battlefield 3. I'd say if Battlefield 4, the only thing conservative coded about it is the presence of guns, but that's not... I don't think that's really sufficient, because it's also like people are part of standing armies, and standing armies are... they're a product of socialist policy, you know? I guess as like a disappointing sequel, you know, to like Battlefield 3, a game that was like in a fundamental way, at least to me, perfect. Yeah, like if you think of as Battlefield 4 as the 2020 election and Battlefield 3 as the 2016 election, then yeah, that's very conservative coded. Dino Crisis, who fucking knows? That's a fire pick. I really want to see. I hope this is a troll, because this shit is fucking hilarious. Dino Crisis is a weird game to be on anyone's list. Anybody that doesn't know about Dino Crisis, it is the like lost Resident Evil clone from the time of Resident Evil clones. Like Parasite Eve was like a sort of Resident Evil clone, like vibe wise, but it was like, it was built like a Final Fantasy game, kind of, if I remember correctly. It was like active time battles and shit. Dino Crisis was like Resident Evil with velociraptors, which sounds cool, but I remember I played like 5 minutes of this game, and it was no good. But yet again, I think I rented this, and it was like a scratched disc from a like family video, and so you just got to a certain point, and the screen went, and then you just couldn't play anymore. I remember doing a puzzle with multicolored pipes that was actually legitimately a good puzzle. So you know what? I won't say anything bad about Dino Crisis. I guess if you deeply believe that that's conservative coded, fuck it, I'll give it to you. I don't know what to say. Fallout 3. Is Fallout 3 conservative coded? No. Every Fallout game is about the shortcomings of fascist and hyper-conservative policymaking. So just no. Literally. Counter-Strike. Absolutely. I will absolutely give Counter-Strike to the conservatives. That's 100% your guys. You've not heard a slur, really, until you've heard it in a Counter-Strike lobby. Because, like, you know, you could play Halo, and little Halo kids on the 360 would say the most insane shit to you. But they only spoke English. You know, Counter-Strike, you can be called a slur in almost every single language on Earth, but especially Russian. Especially Russian. And just like, you know, I've messed around at Counter-Strike a little bit, and just not clutching, and like listening to people go ape shit in that game is wild, because like they'll be like, you are American, I tell you, you are fucking amazing. Arma's dork shit. Arma is like, Arma is LARPing for people that don't want to go outside. I respect Arma. Arma 3 dudes are either really cool, socially awkward guys, or really uncool, socially awkward guys. There's not a lot of, from what I understand, like Arma bros. That's probably a thing that people call them. I guarantee you, if I went to like 4chan's like VGG board right now, there's something going on with Arma, but like that's a game that's way too boring. Arma's ancient. Arma 3 is ancient now, like super fucking old. I think Arma's from like 2009 or some shit, maybe even further back. And it's basically a military simulation game where you can do everything. And mostly by do everything, what they mean is you can get shot in the leg and have your leg be broken, and then crawl around for like 2 hours while a 12-year-old just screams at you about how you should have been talking to them more. Great game. Squad, this looks like you're a cop, and you're just going to go and shoot people, I give it to you. Conservative. Ready or Not, another cop game, I give it to you. That's you. Yeah, you're a police officer just going in. You can choose to follow the law or not follow the law. Anything where you're just like, man, it's power trip time, I'll give it to you. Absolutely conservative coded. Company of Heroes, I don't know. This looks like a Medal of Honor ripoff from back in the day. Or maybe Medal of Honor's ripped off from it. I don't know. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I don't know. I wouldn't say so. Call of Duty Modern Warfare's... Sigisus. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Modern Warfare, conservative code? I think Modern Warfare is pretty neutral. It depends on like your version of conservative. If you're like an American conservative, maybe, but like if you're from overseas, very not. It's I think it's actually got a pretty good plot for what I remember. We played the shit out of this game on my second deployment. Devil May Cry 2? Is that Devil May Cry 2 or is it just Devil May Cry in a weird shape next to it? No, that's just him. Devil May Cry. I can't give you that one. I don't understand what would be... Devil May Cry is so like weirdly apolitical. It would be difficult to try to figure out anything. I would say if anything, it would probably be not conservative. Because I couldn't imagine... I couldn't imagine fucking Dante caring about stuff. I mean, he wants to kill his dad, right? Mundus isn't his dad. Mundus is just the main bad guy. His dad is like... I can't fucking remember who his dad is. Some sort of demon. His mom's a human. His brother's got mad school shooter vibes. Virgil. I guess if you're just like projecting yourself onto Virgil, maybe it's conservative coded. Virgil's got that deep edgelord case. Fire Emblem, Three Houses, don't know. Mega Man Zero? I don't know what the fuck that pick would be even. What's conservative about Mega Man Zero? Is it the slavery thing? Is it because you can catch the little fairies and then you can murder them for your own benefit and no real deficit in game? If that's the case, then that's actually a pretty woke pick for a conservative game. I didn't want to play Mega Man Zero because, well, first off, I got it in the Mega Man Anniversary Collection, and the port felt like I was supposed to be playing it on, you know, a GBA screen, which I'm just too old to be playing things on a screen that's 2 inches by 1 inch. But it was just, it was not great. It was definitely not as good as I remember. I thought the like sword worked more effectively, like in my memory. But also like it's also got kind of like a Shota-ish look. That's kind of fucking sketch. It's a little sus. Pretty conservative. Stalker's not conservative coded at all. Stalker is just, if anything, Stalker is like libertarian coded. Stalker is very anti-government, anti-control, anti-people. I don't know, man. Stalker's another one. I would say the political messaging is probably more aligned with my kind of shit, especially because it's Ukrainians. They fucking hate conservative. BioShock is absurd. BioShock is literally not conservative coded. There's conservative coding in the game, but BioShock is literally just Ayn Rand was wrong, the video game. Halo 2, I think that's just a game that maybe conservative people like. I mean, hey, I considered myself a little fucking junior Republican when that game came out. Halo Tuesday, 2004 or whatever. Shout out. Fun game, though. Absolutely fun. I played through almost the entire thing in one night. Battlefield 3, yet again, most of these shooters, fuck yeah. But like these Battlefield 3 games, they're just so... does Battlefield 3 even have a fucking campaign? I don't think so. Like, I literally can't remember if it even has a campaign. It might, but it just... I don't understand. Like, if you don't talk that much... I don't get it. Call of Duty Black Ops, I guess you're killing communists, so I guess you can say that's conservative core. Suspicion of the government doing stuff, you're getting CIA control, fine. Dawn of War, I guess if you're playing as a Chaos Marine, sure, why not? Ninja Gaiden 2. I don't know. Wait, was there a second one? I'm thinking of Ninja Gaiden Black. I never even played Ninja Gaiden 2 then. Metro Last Light, I don't understand what's conservative about any Metro game at all. It's conservative policies that lead to the world being destroyed. And like at best, I would say that the Metro games have a more libertarian, if not even in the American sense, the European sense, a libertarian vibe. I can't remember if this is... No, I'm thinking of Exodus is the one we were out. So yeah, Metro Last Light's the first one that I ever played, which is the second most recent of them. And its whole thing is that neither the communists nor the Nazis are good, because there's communists, literal communists, and literal Nazis are factions in Metro Last Light. And generally, the vibe is that a sense of mankind has done too much damage to the world. It's almost kind of an environmentalist message, and so now you have to live like fucking rats inside the Moscow metro system, and the communists aren't necessarily to be trusted, but the fucking Nazis, because that guy's actually like an ally for a bit. The Nazis are just shot on sight. The Nazis are just always bad guys in that. So I wouldn't say conservative coded. At best, libertarian, or like true leftist. Space Marine, I've never played it, but yet again, all the Warhammer games. Killzone 2, never played any of the Killzone games. I thought they just looked like dog shit, but a lot of people swear by them. Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball 2, okay. This list goes kind of hard as far as comedy goes. I'm enjoying the fuck out of reading this, actually, even though this is taking longer than I meant for it to. If I would have saw that at the very beginning, I probably would have been like, this has to be a joke. Oh my gosh. Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. I mean, I guess, is it conservative coded? Is it actually like a serious pick because it's like, hey, we're objectifying women as just, that's the entire point of the game? In which case, I would say, I guess so. Yeah, to a degree, if that's your vibe for Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, which I don't understand what the other kind of vibe is. I don't know a lot of other people who are like, you know what, man? I really like any girls who are like, I really wish there was just, you know, a super casual volleyball and bikini collection game for me. Yeah, somebody once told me that Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, those games are for guys that really wanted to play with their sisters like Barbies and then would like jerk off to them. That's the entire point of this series. That's the kind of guy who was like, I've maxed out DOA Extreme Beach Volleyball. Also, it might just be people that fixate on minigames. Who knows? God of War, I can't really give you the conservative thing on that. I mean, it's literally an anti-conservative game. It's anarchist. You're killing literal gods. The entire thing is an act of rebellion against authority, which is inherently unconservative by any definition of conservatism. And then Metal Gear Rising, that's just any Kojima game is anti-conservative. I hate to break it to you. It's anti-conservative. They're anti-war, anti-proliferation. They make guns cool, but it's about not doing guns. So yeah, I would say this list is actually more like half right, and also games I haven't played than I would initially have given it credit for. But definitely a bizarre collection, a very strange one. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.